Rev up your engines! All right, here we have a giant lifted Tundra that was just bought used. Was this a smart buy? Hey, we're gonna find out. Now, to me, it looks to be in excellent shape. I don't see any rust at all, and that kind of makes sense because the guy bought it in Texas. And here we go, Fred Haas Toyota from Houston, where I used to live, and it was made in San Antonio. And as you can tell, it is loaded. All the room. Nice leather seats, huge tires, lifted as can be. And unlike my grandson's Tundra, it was lifted correctly. It's not slanted. Now, if you look at one of these, some of them did have that problem with frame rust because they didn't coat them right. But been in Texas most of its life, and the interesting thing was the owner seemed to go between Houston and Brownsville all the time. A lot of the mileage on this thing was highway mileage, which is about 10% the wear of stop and go in city mileage. So even though it has a lot of miles, 238,788, I don't think it's going to be all worn out because it was highway mileage. We're going to take it for a road test and we're going to scan it with my machine for sure. Cold day, so we got a stick out because the little hydraulic lifts are kind of worn out. But these 5.7 liter V8s, these things can basically run forever if you take care of them. Which is one of the reasons I don't like the new Tundra with that V6 twin turbo. I don't care what they say, they don't have the pulling power and they don't ride the same as these. Theoretically, they have more horsepower, more torque, but that's twin turbo. It's a different type of power. It doesn't have the grunt this thing has when it takes off. Now sure, it's a gas hog, but it's got a lot of heavy added steel. But even at that, he's only getting 4 miles a gallon worse than that new twin turbo V6. When a guy brought me that, he's only getting 4 miles less than that after all these years and all the technology. So you get a big truck, it's going to use up a lot of gasoline, and let's say he paid $12,500 for this and it still looks beautiful. I just looked up the discounted price locally for a 4-wheel drive brand new Tundra and it was $68,000, and that doesn't include destination and all that stuff, right? So for what he paid for this, since it's only 4 miles a gallon less gas mileage, he could buy 5 lifetimes worth of gasoline if you think about it that way. And of course, being an 08, it's a lot simpler vehicle. Take off the beauty cover. It is a regular V8 engine. It doesn't have a turbocharger. It doesn't have GDI fuel injection. All these expensive things that run higher pressure that are going to not only wear it out faster but be more expensive to fix when they break. There's a lot to say about older technology when it comes to a long lifespan, and the main reason people buy Toyotas is because of their lifespan. And this one, hey, was in Texas. Check it out. Look at this clean undercarriage. Okay, all you guys up north and on the East Coast, eat your heart out. A guy a couple years ago, I felt sorry for him. He bought me an FJ Cruiser in Rhode Island to check out. And he was so excited that he had gotten this FJ Cruiser for 20-something grand. Said, wasn't that a great deal? I really loved the truck. And outside it looked beautiful. But once I crawled under it, it was a rust bucket. The frame was rusting. The undercarriage was rusting. The control arms were rusting. Everything was rusting out like no tomorrow. And I really felt sorry for the guy. In this case, he was in Texas. Truck was in Texas. He didn't have to worry about it. It's clean as a whistle. That's why people want to buy cars from Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. If they are in a nice, non-salted atmosphere, they're going to be great. Now, there's one thing you got to worry about, though, and that's the history of the car. Because my sister-in-law had a Ford Pinto in Buffalo, New York, and she moved to Houston. Well, it started to rust in Buffalo, right? But when she came to Houston, if you know anything about Houston, it is humid as can be, right? So the humidity actually rotted it out even worse. And one day, she opened the door on the Pinto, and it fell off. So she picked it up and put it back in place and drove it from the passenger side, climbed in and out, and then gave it to somebody later to drive around as a knockaround car. So you always want to check the whole history of the car and look at the undercarriage anyway, even if it says Texas. Hey, they might have moved there from Buffalo like my sister-in-law did, and then wham, you end up with a pile of junk. In this case, it was made in San Antonio, sold in Houston, Texas, and it's obviously spent its entire life in the state of Texas. Now we're going to get my fancy scan tool, and you can see, yeah, the leather's ripped and cracked here. You can get a real upholster, seat covers, or whatever you want. It does have a lot of miles on it, and that shows that it does have a lot of miles because of this wear, right? Now, I really wouldn't worry about the odometer being set back because it says it has 230-something thousand miles, right? Nobody in their right mind would set it back to that high of a figure. They'd put it lower, right? But that seat is a really good example of, let's say, somebody's trying to sell one of these and said it's only got 50,000 miles. Well, if that seat's all worn out like that, believe me, it's got a lot more than 50,000 miles on it, right? It's a good way that you can check it out. You can see it's from Texas. There's the hash. Here we go, it's already detected the vehicle. Standalone diagnosis. And we're going to do a full scan of this thing. Topology of all the different systems. And while it's doing it, we'll look. Got a nice electronic four-wheel drive system you can turn on or off. Someone's put a Kenwood because they wanted to modernize it. Yeah, there's a little tear here, but hey, big old space, comfy seats, lots of room in the back, lots of storage here. Sunglass aroma, I guess you can have a lot of sunglasses here. Well, it's a Texas truck after all. I got 2 trouble codes. I don't think it's gonna be much. TPMS, you never expect those things to work with all these fancy tires. Code is, here it comes popping up, data from transmitter 3 not received. So one of the transmitters is dead inside the tire stem. Like I say, bring tire pressure gauges. When you got a vehicle like this, you don't want to buy all that fancy stuff. Who cares? You can if you want. You'll end up replacing all 4, spending a lot of money. So we will go back to the other data, which is the AC. And we'll see what trouble code's there. Air outlet damper control servo motor. So one of the servo motors is probably bad inside the dash. The heat in the AC blows good enough, so we'll just erase that code. We really don't care. So let's start her up. Typical Toyota, starts right up, and we're gonna do live data. Remember, black's good, red's bad. We'll see what kind of shape this baby's in. Now he's complaining about gas module, and you can see the mass airflow sensor is 7.5. Okay, that's a little high because this is a 5.7 liter, so it should be closer to 5.7 grams per second. And as you can see, at 7.68, 7.5, that's a little high. Now you can try cleaning them, that might help a little, or just replace the mass airflow sensor. It just bolts on and off. It's a very easy thing. It would probably improve his gas mileage a little bit. This is a gas hog, there's no arguing that, but that can help it as much as possible. Now you see the air fuel ratio sensors, they're working good. 0 is perfect, and look, 0.05, 0.06, 0.04. That's pretty low. It's not doing much changing. It's only subtracting a little, so it's running just slightly rich from that part of the system. But that's just reporting it. The sensors themselves are working okay. It's just giving a report that is running slightly rich. Front 1292, back 1167, that's all working fine. And that's the thing about Toyota catalytic converter systems. They generally last forever like they're supposed to. Theoretically, none of them should wear out because they don't burn the catalysts. They should last forever, but they're not made right. Engines burn oil, yada, yada, yada. But in this case, they're still working perfectly fine. Both of them. That's completed and there's no misfires. Variable valve timing system's working fine. The port injector is working perfectly fine. 2.3 milliseconds at idle. Look at the engine speed. All cylinders are exactly the same, running perfectly. Like I say, misfire count, they're all going to be zeros. It's a Toyota, they're all zeros. Hey, look, it might be an old truck, but it's got a little tiny backup camera. I gotta say, not the greatest view on earth, but hey, it's looking backwards. Now you're way up in the air. Power door locks still work, and the exhaust system isn't stock by any stretch of the imagination, because I can hear it. It was all rotten when he bought it, so he put on a full flow one. You don't want to go too fast in a lifted truck, but hey, I feel totally secure driving this thing around. We'll take it to our little drag strip. I'm listening. I don't hear wheel bearings. Like any lifted truck, I hear rattles and creaks here and there. I mean, and he's got a lot of junk in the truck too, but seems extremely solid. So here we go up our little drag strip hill. I gotta say, I like his exhaust system. It's got a nice sound to it. It's a lot nicer than the super quiet stock one. And I see there's nobody behind us, so here we go to our little drag strip. And let's gas it and see what happens. Whoa! Hey, it may have 238,000 miles on it, but it still burns rubber. That's what I don't like about the new ones. The twin turbo V6s have more horsepower, but only at high RPMs. And so if you're towing or pulling off, they don't have the power. Okay, we're going 45, we'll step on it. Here we go! Whee! Oh, I like that sound. So, here we have a beautiful truck. You got it for $12,500. And yeah, it's got mileage on it, but it's a Toyota. And as I say about many things, they don't make them like they used to, especially when they swapped it for a V6 twin turbo. This engine can go a long time. I've seen them go 500,000 miles, right? The tranny still shifts like a dream. The brakes work, especially since it was made in San Antonio, sold in Houston, spent its life in Texas, has no rust on it whatsoever. This is a keeper truck. If the engine finally wore out, I would personally put another engine in it. Now, I've never seen a transmission in one of these wear out. You can replace them, but I've never seen one wear out. I've seen the engines finally wear out, 400,000 or 500,000 miles, but you could even replace it then. And for $6,000 to $8,000, hey, considering the new one's going to cost you 70 grand or more, why not just keep fixing an old one, as long as you live where they don't rot away. They don't rot away in Texas. They don't rot away here in Tennessee. If you really want to get a good truck, maybe take a trip down to Houston and buy one. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.